Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not, and welcome back to Sequel-A-Thon V, it's a Roman numeral. And I finally get to talk about a sequel I want to talk about for a long time, Gremlins 2. Now, I love the original Gremlins, but I remember since the first time saw this movie, how balls to the walls this movie is. I mean, it is fucking, you know, if you know the history, you'll know why. See, Warner Brothers, they wanted to make a sequel after the first one succeeded, but Joe Dante said no, I don't want to do that, and I guess they didn't want anyone but Dante to handle the sequel. So after years, this came out in 1990, years upon years of poking and prodding, he finally agreed as long as he had full carte blanche, complete control, absolute power. Yes, yes, and they said, go ahead. And as a result, this movie is everywhere. The plot of the movie takes place at the Clamp Tower in New York City, which is not a real place, but it's supposed to be. Daniel Clamp is supposed to be a mock of Donald Trump. They even actually predicted something when at the end he starts dating his secretary or one of his workers named Marla, which would later be revealed that Donald Trump had an affair with Marla Maples in the 90s, but yeah. And this movie does not take itself seriously at all. There are nods to other movies, kind of like in the original one where the H.G. Wells Time Machine showed up. We got a pea pod from the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original one. Yeah, the 1950s one. There's cameos from a lot of regulars. Joe Dante. You got Joe Dante's regulars. You have Robert Picardo as Forrester, the yes man to Daniel Clamp. You have the return of Dick Miller as he survived the first one, even though it didn't look like he did, but he did. You also have Robert Prosky. You have the Penguin from the Blues Brothers as a cook. Aforementioned, there's the Peapod, which is being held by it's the guy who played Dracula. He was Count Dooku. I can't think of his name. Not Peter Cushing, the other guy. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. You got those two redhead twins that you've seen in other things. They were in Terminator 2. Yeah, they're here. It's balls to the walls. And when we get to the Gremlins, there's a whole bunch. To tell you how not serious this movie is, it starts with the Looney Tunes cartoon. Yeah, Bugs Bunny shows up, and before Daffy says, "No. You're not gonna take all the attention in this picture." And so they said, well, you know what? Instead of having the cartoon, let's just get to the movie. And it says Gremlins 2, and then we cut to stock footage from Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. Yes. This was confirmed by James A. Janice from Dead Meat that that's what it is. Apparently. Wow, it's raining. It's raining. It's pouring. Chippy Tulu to snoring. We do not snore. We growl. You are an eldritch god. Okay. It's a raining. I just want air to come through the window, and every time I do, it starts raining again. Anyway, yes, stock footage from Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, because they have a copyright to that. But then we get to the real footage. Forrester goes into Mr. Wing's shop, which is the only remnants of old New York left or at least this block, that Daniel Clamp hasn't taken. Speaking of Superman, Daniel Clamp is played by the one, the only, Lionel Luthor himself, John Glover. Yes, with no beard and very short hair. Yes, he looks much like he did in Scrooged. Yeah. He's this sucky businessman, but he's not. He's made to look like the villain, but really Forrester is the human villain here. But yeah, they're trying to buy Wink's store, but he says no. That as long as I'm alive, you won't get it. And I have a bit of a nitpick here. So Mr. Wink dies, and then I'm like, say, well, his store's ours now. We got it. And I'm like, but wait, he had a grandson in the first one, which implies he has children, which means the store would actually pass down to them. Are they in that much need of money? Was he the only one in the family that cared about the shop? It would seem so. So, as they're demolishing the shop, Gizmo gets out, but is found by the two twin redhead guys with the mustache. Those guys. Meanwhile, Billy is not working, coincidentally, at Clamp Tower. So is his girlfriend from the first film. Yeah, it's very coincidental. And the Futtermans are on their way to visit New York from Kingston Falls. So, that's good. They're still alive. But, eventually, Billy finds Gizmo. But he's got a problem because he's got a dinner date with Marla because Clamp likes his drawings. His drawings. Hello, I'm Simon. I like to do drawings. Chicky monkeys, all of you. Hello, my name is Simon, and I like to do drawings. Classic 90s SNL for you. Yeah. Mike Myers there. But yes. And so they want to kind of do something. Yeah, so she goes to dinner with Marla to discuss it, and she's the chimney. She's always smoking. That's her thing. Smoke that cigarette. Yeah, that's her thing. But, so he tells Kate, I remember her name. I didn't at first. Kate, to pick up Gizmo. Well, thanks to a cameo from John Astin, Gomez Adams, spilling water on him from a fountain. By the way, I know fountains like that. There are some fountains that just... The one upstairs here, if you press it right, it will just shoot right out. We have one at another building we cleaned that just... Yeah. And it gets Gizmo wet. It also ruins Billy's picture. And 4 more come out. Apparently, they have names. I gave them names once by the time I can't remember it. The goofy one, I don't remember the name that was given to him, but the other ones were George and like the characters of Mice of Men. Yeah. And then there's Mohawk instead of Stripe. And the other one I called Doofus because yeah. And I'm going to call him Doofus from this point on. Kate arrives and thinks Doofus is Gizmo. Despite being able to talk at the end of the last one, Gizmo's not there to say, "Hey Kate, that's not me." No, he just lets her take off with him as he tries to escape the other two. Yes. We also see Billy has a relationship, this is earlier on, with the vampire Grandpa Munster-like host played by Robert Prosky, who wants to do more serious things. And they also lament the fact that Clamp doesn't play black and white movies, which is a nod to the fact that Ted Turner, who was the other inspiration for Daniel Clamp, would take black and white films and colorize them because he didn't think that the audiences would be interesting. And to be fair, I've gotten into watching some older black and white movies now, but if I was a kid watching those channels at the time, I think I would be dissuaded by black and white. My parents watched black and white movies. They were raised in that kind of era, but... Well, maybe not, because I Love Lucy. I Love Lucy was black and white, and I love to watch that. And there was other black and white. Dick Van Dyke Show was in black and white. Leave It to Beaver. Yeah, I watched black and white TV, so I don't know, maybe I would have. And it's weird how I can watch black and white TV shows, but it's hard to get into... I don't know. Anyway, some movies are hard to watch. TV shows a half hour, and their sitcoms are made so that each half hour plot doesn't cut to the other unless it's a 2-parter or something like that. Anyways, so yeah, there's also this research lab where the two twin guys had Gizmo and he dances the fast domino. And that's where Billy got him. And they're experimenting on stuff. So when the Gremlins get out and get in, we get a bunch of the freaky Gremlins. We got a vegetable one. There's a girl one, which is called Greta, the Greta Garbo. There's a bat one, which turns into a gargoyle after fighting with Mr. Futterman. Stripe, or Mohawk, drinks some concoction that turns him into a spider. It's the ultimate villain, I guess. There's a smart one who's voiced by Tony Randall from The Odd Couple, the sitcom I watched back in the day. I thought it was a funny show. I also like the reboot they did with Tom Lennon and Matthew Perry. I thought it was good. But my Williams schedule stopped me from being able to watch it. But it's fine. Shows I wish were still on now, I'd watch them. But then now I know they're all canceled and shit. No. It's all balls to the walls. You got the vegetable one showing up in a cooking show. Eventually, Robert Prosky's Grandpa Munster guy takes a Japanese tourist with a video camera. I am a camera. And I think he's also the guy from Full House, Koji, the Japanese guy that helps Uncle Jesse when they're in Japan. Honey roasted. I feel like that's the same guy. You think what I'm thinking, Koji? Honey roasted. I love this guy. I think that's the same guy. I'm not exactly sure. But there's also an electricity one. I don't know how that works. It tries to go off the clamp, but Billy puts it on hold. Can't make this shit up. It does come in handy later, but yeah. Despite everything going on, Kate tries to tries to do her tour group. That doesn't work at all. No. And Forster is sexually assaulted by the female Gremlin. Greta Gremlin, whatever. Yes. Yes. I do like that there's more Futterman in this. They show up. More of the Futtermans in this, especially Dick Miller, rest in peace. He was a great actor. He was great in, even though he had like little bit parts in most of the movies. I saw him in growing up, like Small Soldiers, and this, and all that. In Terminator, Uzi 9mm. Hey, pal, just what you see. I know that's not what he says that to, but I can't think of what that one is. But no. But yeah, he like body slams the Bat Gremlin into cement, and the Bat Gremlin flies up to the top of the tower and solidifies to be an actual gargoyle now. Yeah. And Futterman, so Daniel Clamp has this plan that they're going to get all the Gremlins, corner them into the lobby, and then they're gonna open up all the shutters and release the light and kill them. Yes. And he comes out of this thing. It reminds me of the flush thing from Men in Black 2. Man, Kay, you just love being flushed. You used to ask me all the time, flush me, Jay, flush me. And I was like, nah. That reminds me of. He comes out of it, and then Futterman sneaks in and goes in and he helps. So it's down to Billy, Futterman, Kate, and they find Marla trapped in a spider web. Am I missing someone? Oh yeah, Gizmo, who shows up like fucking Rambo to save the day. Yeah, the last one he jumped in a car. Now he's Rambo because he saw him watching Rambo, First Blood Part 2, in earlier when in the shop. Oh, TV, I had to rot your brain. Yeah. I also like that that's the one thing he got pissed about in the last one. You let him watch television? Like, all the chaos with all the Gremlins in the town, and he's mad that they let him watch TV. You let him watch television? Yes. So they eventually get all of them into the plaza, but we have a problem. It's to start to rain. So, nope. Billy gets a smart idea. He has them spray them with water, and before you say, wait a minute, that's not a good idea, just wait for it. He releases he takes the electricity gremlin off hold and shocks them all to death, causing them to melt down. Yes. Because to be fair, I do feel like just doing what they were going to do, bringing them in there and turning the lights, would just be kind of like a repeat of what they did to Stripe at the end of the last one. Even though technically he should have reproduced because he landed in the water, but what do I know? And here it should be the same thing, but they would all die anyway, including the electricity one. And yes, once again, the day is saved. Thanks to the power Thanks to Gizmo, and Billy, and Mr. Futterman, and Kate, and Marla was there smoking. I do like the line where he's like, Mr. Futterman, do this. Kate, go do this. Marla, what? Smoke. Good. I like that. I also want to point out, I had it and I lost it. There's a gag I want to point out. What was it? Marla, smoke. Well, I'll think about it while I'm finishing up. We find that the female gremlin survived, and she's going to sexually assault Forrester again. And Clamp, of course, takes all the credit for this. Well, he comes in and slips on all the gremlin goop that's there, and they finally get in the building. Yeah. Also, wouldn't that still be electrified? No? Okay. But, I also like the segment where Robert Prosky's Grandpa Monster guy is talking to the smart gremlin. And when the smart gremlin shoots someone, he's like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, no, fuck no. He's out. He doesn't say that, but the look on his face, like, oh, fuck no. Get the hell out of here. Yeah. Still haven't thought about it. I'm ready to end this, and I haven't thought about what I was going to say. There's a lot more with the Gremlins in this one, movement-wise, because they got Rebecca to come in and do more with this one. It's a lot more complicated in the first one. And there wasn't a lot of... Gizmo was still the more sensitive one, but they had a lot more movement to it. Oh, I remember what it was. You know how in the first one, Kate had that story about her dad was trying to be Santa Claus, and he slipped, broke his neck, and died inside the... inside the fireplace, and that's how she found out there was no Santa Claus. Well, in this one, they tried to do that, and it didn't do it again. Where something happened on President's Day, but clearly they didn't know how to finish the scene, because it's like, she starts telling the story, and Billy's like, okay, we don't have time for this. And you can visibly see Zach Galligan cracking up. He had to turn his head. He turns his head just as he goes off screen. Because it's... yeah. It's funny. It's funny. Gremlins 2. The new batch. Which I did not mention. It's called Gremlins 2. I'm saying it's pretty good. I think it's just as good as the original. Some people say it's better. I don't. Joe Dante himself likes this movie better. So did Leonard Maltin. Who... not only did he give a bad review to Gremlins, he gives another bad review to Gremlins during this movie. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking. Yes. 2 Gremlins in this movie, and he received this one well. Also, I have to mention it, even though I don't want to. Yes, there is the scene where the Gremlins break into the picture and mess with the film. So who did they get to save the day? Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, who squishes the popcorn and the soda. Turn it back on, brother. And yeah. Interestingly enough, they actually shot one for the home video release that included John Wayne. I prefer John Wayne, but you know, that's just me. But yes, that's all the things I don't think I forgot. That's about it. But yeah, it's still pretty good. I've always really liked this movie. It's balls to the walls weird, but balls to the walls. Balls to the wall, weird. Ball to the wall, balls to the walls, weird. I don't know how to say that right, apparently. But I enjoy it immensely. So, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Gremlins 2? Leave a comment so much, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.